Mattress Firm is in the rear view for Mark Quinn. He's moving on. He's waving goodbye. We're going to tell you what's up and what's next. The Dos Marcos show begins right now. Listen to this information we got from Genesis Credit. According to Experian, 40% of Americans have a FICO score below 700. That means 4 of every 10 sales are potentially lost because a customer won't qualify for enough credit or at all through traditional financing. Fact is, customers deserve a second chance at affordable financing, and no one believes that more than Genesis Credit. As the industry's premier second look financing solution for over 20 years, Genesis provides high revolving credit lines for customers with FICO credit scores above 550. And Genesis wants retailers to know that, hey, if you're seeing lower credit lines and fewer credit approvals from your first finance option, let Genesis Credit take a second look. Find the right fit for your customers' financial needs at genesis-fs.com/thefam. Be honest, how much do you spend each year on product photography?
Aperture's the answer, Kinsley.
Products and more products and vignettes and tens of thousands of dollars in reshoots. I mean, the reshoots. And then it doesn't look consistent.
Aperture is the answer.
Look, the world's changed a lot. And one of the good changes is the tech driving Aperture.
Aperture is the answer.
All right, Quinn, you don't have to say Aperture is the answer anymore. So why don't you go ahead and tell them why?
Because it's the only tech company that Williams-Sonoma ever bought. And for good reason, Kinsley. They had the same problems with product photography, and now they don't. And now you won't.
Let's say you need a mattress photo. Boom. Place that beautiful bed inside Aperture's nifty 20 by 20 beauty box, press a button, and the Aperture machine does all of the rest. All the lighting and cropping and shadows, all of it. And better yet, once you need a different background or different lighting, no reshoots. Your visual factory in a box does all the work.
And you know what? You save some money, you save some time, and you create product photography that can move at the speed of your ideas. Start today at outwardinc.com and tell them Dos Marcos sent you.
Because why? Aperture's the answer.
Welcome to the Dos Marcos Show with Mark Kinsley and Mark Quinn, where mattress and furniture leaders gather to grow, get the inside scoop, tell stories, and take tequila shots.
Uno, dos, tequila!
The galaxy's greatest mattress podcast has liftoff in 3, engine start, 2, 1. Let's enable 7, 8.
Quinn, this is a huge announcement and big news. And I know everybody's going to want to know right out of the gates, what is going on? So you're no longer with Mattress Firm.
No, I'm not. Big change, actually. So Matt Firm just made a change, Kinsley, to strategy and kind of where they're going. And it wasn't a direction I wanted to go. So we decided to part ways and for me to pursue other things and refocus on Spink & Co. and land on what I'm doing next. And it's been exciting already. I've had some unexpected and great conversations with people and friends inside the category. And it's all about what's next. And as I think about it, though, it's really not about what's next. It's more about who I'm going to do it with. So it's not about the what, it's about the who. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. The people matter the most. So as your friend and knowing that you have many friends in the industry, people are going to want to know, how are you doing? Are you doing okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Doing great. It's weird, isn't it? Like when you get to a big point or a big decision or a crossroad and, it's not really what I had in mind. I mean, like the end of it, right? I was only there 6 months. And so I feel like there's so much more. Like I think Matt Firm has great potential. I think they're already doing some terrific things. And I wanted that to be longer. I wanted that to be a deeper thing. But, it doesn't always work out like that. And so, there's a disappointment in that, I suppose. But, at the other part of that, like when I go into stuff like this, like you and I always talk about being faith people. And for me, what that looks like is saying, okay, whenever I go into a big decision, I'm always saying, like, where do you want me to be? Like God, right? So tell me, just whatever it is, like I need you to be in the middle of that decision. And, help kind of point me where you want me to go. And so I put him in the game there. And then anytime like this too, I don't feel like God gets you fired or laid off or moving on or divorced or in a hurricane or tornado or causes changes. Like, I don't think that's what happens. But I think when that stuff does happen, then faith is a verb. And so you just go, all right, so what is it? Like, where am I supposed to be? It's clearly not here. And so that's how I see it. And I think it's a blessing. We're in the holiday season, Kinsley. And I think when I look at this stuff, I look at the disappointment of it, but then I go, so I was traveling my ass off, and Nick, my son, he's a senior. We have a gym in our house, and he's like, Dad, when I told him and Bridget that there was going to be a change, he's like, Dad, you've been traveling so hard. He's like, I was trying to put a punching bag stand together and you weren't here. And it really upset me. And it just kind of hit me all at one time that I'm missing you a lot. Your travel is getting to me, but I didn't want to tell you because I knew you were having such a great time. And I'm like, when he told me that, like, that put so much in perspective, right? So it made that change so much easier. And so at the end of the day, you go, oh man, like, what do I not have, or what didn't work out? I had a day where I had some of that thinking, and I think it's just human. I think you have to deal with that stuff. And if you don't deal with that, the negative feelings that you're having about those things, then you just mask them and you have to deal with them later. So I think it's really important to like process that. You talked to me a lot about that with things that you've done. You just got to go feel what you're going to feel. But then literally like the next day for me, because of that mindset, just of gratitude, I'm like, how freaking lucky am I? And to do what I do with you, my family is incredible. I'm blessed financially. I've got, a lot of friends in the industry, and a lot of like, there's so many cool things to get to do. And so, for me to feel bad about any part of that for very long, I always tell my kids, you get to visit that place. You don't get to stay there. And so, anyway, I think the excitement about what's coming is way bigger for me than where, the frustration of it not going exactly the way I thought. But Kinsley, I had a blast working there. It was a grind. I probably have never worked that hard, but the shit I learned, oh my goodness. It was my gratitude for empathy and having seen it from the retail perspective, especially at that level, I learned so much, man. It was pretty incredible.
And I know you had a team that you spoke so highly of, and there are so many incredible people at Mattress Firm, and you had people on your merchandising team that you said are incredibly brilliant and kind and empathetic. And I think it's always great to hear that there are so many wonderful people spread throughout this industry, including in the Mattress Firm family.
Let me tell you, man, one of the biggest concerns I had going in, Kinsley, was culture. And, I'm just not, I don't want to be part of any company where there's like all this backfighting and backstabbing and like you just have to worry about crap all the time. I'm going to tell you though, the merchandising team at Mattress Firm is so incredibly strong. Like, I have a deep affection for that entire group of people. I really enjoyed it. And I loved being part of a team that was so committed to being good, and they really were. And so I got so much from them. I really enjoyed the hell out of that. And especially Carly Lick, who was over Private Brand Mattresses, and then Sydney DeCesare, who from Manhattan, lives in New York, does all our textiles, was a Walmart person in a previous life, and does all the accessories and private brand stuff. And then we got really lucky with Nicole Del Mastro, who was with Bed Bath & Beyond, and we hired her away while I was there. And those three women were so strong and taught me a lot, and really positive and just very tough, man. Like, I never had to get involved in a tough negotiation, because if you got by Carly and Sydney and it had to come to me, like, you were already in trouble. I mean, those girls, they were so strong and so smart and strategic thinkers. And that was probably the hardest part, is the people, isn't it always, right? So knowing you're not going to be working with them every day and, having those meetings and just that sense of team, it was really cool. I'm very, very grateful for that sense of it and what they all gave to me, really.
One thing you said I want to pause on and go back to, because we're talking about the future. We're talking about heading throughout the holiday season and heading into a new year, which is a time for a fresh start. You said something earlier that I know about you, but I want to put it under a spotlight and talk about future state. You said it's not about necessarily what, but who. Talk to me and describe, based on your experiences with, Sherwood and Spink & Co. and going all the way back to Serta and Leggett and now Mattress Firm. When you think about who would be a good person or how you would describe those people, paint a picture for us.
About where I'm going?
The people that you would want to do whatever is next with.
Yeah, God, great question. I think a lot of it is like the first words that come to mind. I want to be around fun people. I want to be around people that inspire me. I want to be around people that are progressive in their thought. I want to be around people that want to kick some serious ass in the category they're in. I want to be around people that think similar to how I think, but not exactly like I think. I mean, I want to be challenged and pushed. I want to grow and that kind of thing. But I also want people that get it. I want people to understand the game they're playing. I want people that, get purpose and the importance of that and culture and how you treat people and wanting to blaze a trail and not just maintain. Like, I can't stand that stuff. I want to be around people that want to be innovative. And that, want me to help them, I don't want to go into a company. And it is so frustrating. You can't go into companies and then they go, hey, here's what we're doing, and just kind of go do more of what we're doing. I'm like, no, man, like, that's not like, if I go somewhere, I want to like look at something and together we go, let's take that hill over there. And based on your skill set and your passion and the way you work, go do that. And, trust me to get it done. And so I think that's it. And fun, man. I want to be around fun people. Like, at this point, isn't it like more about that? It's like, I just don't want to be in a situation where you're just not enjoying it, and I want a little bit of margin. I was 3 a.m. to 6 at night, a lot of times, because trying to learn a new company the size of Mattress Firm, and then the travel back and forth every week and the meeting load and the emails. It's like, I need to, sometimes you don't realize the tax or the toll until your 18-year-old son tells you, or you get out of a certain situation. And then isn't that, Kinsley, I'm sure you can think of a time, but when you're not in the situation anymore and it's in the rearview mirror, there's this holy shit moment of like, wow, and there's a moment for a deep breath, and you're like, whew, like an exhale, essentially. I had that moment too. And I'm like, okay, this is probably good.
I've heard a lot of people, this is not the same thing, but what you just described right there, so many people, friends of mine, whenever they've gotten out of a bad relationship, were like, I didn't know what was actually going on with me until I got out of that relationship and I had this moment of massive relief. So it is funny though, like, not funny, haha, but it is curious that as human beings, sometimes we will let things subsist because it's easier to hang on to what you have or to be where you are sometimes than to make a change. So change is a form of bravery. And I've seen a lot of studies about this too that mention, okay, people that didn't make a change versus people that did make a change, no matter what the outcome was, the people that made a change were happier, even if the outcome was lower than what their expectations were. So, in a world that is ever changing and seems like a moving target, I think a lot of people are more comfortable making change these days, just because change was foisted upon us for the past several years, changes that we didn't design into our life or we didn't want to have happen. So, being the river is so important, recollecting yourself as that water.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like when you need to learn something, like that kind of happens into your life. By the way, Bridget thinks I'm a freaking nut because like it took me a day, like I said, to kind of process it. And then the day after that, I'm on phone calls and I'm like talking to people, and she's like, you are in such like, and she's still, processing it herself. She's like, why are you in a good mood? I go, honey, I know like we're not built the same, but this shit fires me up. Like it excites me because, you kind of go, all right, so wow, I never thought of that, or I didn't look at that opportunity that way before, or didn't see that lane opening up. So it's just, there's a lot to that. And I think change is uncomfortable, but I think change is exciting too. It's like, when a pathway opens up, you just got to be thinking to yourself, like, what could be? Matt Firm's going to be. There's so much potential. Like I say, potential. I mean, they're doing great things, and they built themselves into this massive company. But I mean, Kinsley, if you have that platform, the exciting thing for them is, what do you do with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what impact can you have? What can you do with that ad budget? How can you shift the way consumers think about what we do in this category? I mean, that is incredible power for a company inside the trade. And so that for them, hopefully will drive them forward and keep them pushing the envelope,
Yeah, and I think that, Mattress Firm has this very unique position in our industry in a sense that when they deploy advertising spend in different markets, it raises category awareness. So it's so important what that message is, and that they continue, foot on the gas pedal, because, I mean, when I think about it with my industry hat on, Mattress Firm can elevate the awareness of sleep and connect it to the products we sell. And that's a lot of responsibility, and it's very important to the category. And, I think that I've seen so many signals that tell me, all right, we're starting to have success with connecting the mattress to sleep. We've got a lot of work to do as well, though.
But the challenge for Mattress Firm, and for anyone out there listening to this, what I hope is important to everyone is you're spending whatever you're spending. Advertising is a huge line item on the budget, right? So what message are you paying your marketing people to give to consumers? Like, what are you saying? Like, if you took a pie chart, right, and you dropped all your advertising messages every week and you put them in a bucket, like, this is product price promotion, this is about sleep, this is right, this is about why shopping at our store, this is like, put everything in a bucket and then go, okay, what's short game there and what's long game there? And if you don't have enough long game, I encourage you to think through that, because, you need to be building reputation and affection and all of those things. And so I think every retailer out there is, having to think that way. And there's a lot of really great things I see Mattress Firm doing. And, I hope that, they make a point of talking about health and wellness being a pillar for them. And I hope that that's their North Star. I hope that's where they go.
Well, speaking of where we go, where do we go from here, my friend?
Who the hell knows? Right?
Christmas.
Who knows? You know what I know for sure? I'm not going to spend much time thinking about it. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holiday. We're going to go skiing. And
well, Thanksgiving's over, but I'm glad you're looking forward to 2023.
Well, yeah, Thanksgiving's over. Yes. It'll be Christmas and New Year, right? And so it'll be fun to like spend the time with my family. I've got great kids, and so yeah, we're gonna go ski and just kind of relax. And then we'll kick it in 2023. We'll start it off, but get some time to just take a minute.
I'm gonna put an air tag. I'm gonna put an air tag in your backpack and track Mark Quinn, and so we'll know where you're going, what you're doing, what you're getting into, because I'm sure it's gonna be fun.
Well, I've got a couple college visits. We're going to go to Colorado college hunting for Nick, because there's a school up there that wants him to run. And then Idaho, I think we're going to go visit his school there, because there's a school there that's trying to recruit him. So I think we're going to make some college visits. That'll be cool. That'll be fun. And then, so, hey, so be honest with me about something, okay?
The kimono is open.
And I know you always are, but was there a line and an over and under on how long I would be at Matt Firm? Was there like a Vegas? I mean, I'm certainly not big enough for Vegas, but were you booking any bets on over under on time?
Have you been talking to my bookie?
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Let's just say I'm flush with cash.
Yeah. Okay. between you and Magnuson and my brother and Cassidy and, Keith and, the Greg and all those guys, I had a feeling that maybe there was either I came in over or under the guests. So
I didn't make as much money as Mattress Mac. We'll put it that way. I didn't need a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, that's all right though. That's all right. Yeah, no, but thanks for the questions, man. I think it's good to be able to kind of get that out there so people know. But yeah, it's I don't know, man, just blessed, grateful, and loving that we get to do what we do all the time. So one of the many blessings for us both.
Well, it's a joy to just be able to be your friend and, do life together and do this podcast together and serve the industry. And that's what we're all about. And I hope that going into the new year and into the holiday season here, that everybody finds a way to, share some love with the people around you and give people a hug and a high five. And let's just give each other encouragement and positivity. And, hey, make sure you're subscribed here to the Dos Marcos Show, because now it's going to be a show and a saga dedicated to figuring out what Mark Quinn's going to do next. I'm excited. Obviously, lots of people I know behind the scenes have already been calling you, hitting you up, and trying to figure out, hey, can we get on Team Quinn? So we'll keep you posted right here on the show.
Well, hey, man, we're lucky. We have a lot of friends, and so when that happens, there's friends are also connections and opportunities. So we're lucky that way. But yeah, and I hope that our shows are a hell of a lot more interesting than what I'm going to do. We'll have no listeners if we make it about that. But anyway, yeah. I'm with you, brother. It is that holiday season. I feel it. And I'm with you, man. I hope everyone takes a minute and does all that good stuff and, make people the important part of your life.
You could bounce on it. Yeah, bounce with it, bounce with it. Bounce with it, bounce with it. All right. What is a hybrid? It's like peanut butter jelly, peanut butter chocolate. Hybrid so tight, there's no way that you could topple it. Hybrid on my wrist, that's a calculator watch. We add ourselves together and we take it up a notch.
Got the airflow, yo, keep you cool as it get. Visco foam alone to make you drip sweat. Get a hybrid mattress, yes, you'll get better rest. Cool and comfortable, hybrid like a sweater vest.
You know the game, we're ahead of the sun. Cause the two of us together are way better than one. Cause I'm cool as ice
and I'm hot like a heater.
Bounce by the ounce, now we got it by the liter.
Well, you take a spring and you wrap it up right. You can sleep so smooth or bounce all night.
Yeah.
Put two together, get a whole lot more. Get the feel of the comfort core.
You can bounce on it.
Lay back, you don't have to practice. The best thing to happen to your mattress.
Yeah.
Get together to do it like I did. Everybody get hybrid.
If you want somebody to get in your vicinity, you probably want to feel a little bit of a hybridity. Foam alone, out of 5, maybe 1 star. Springs and foam, we're taking care of that lumbar. Mad back support, the best way to shack up or just get rest that won't mess your back up.
Like a hot chick mixed with a particle physicist or a mullet. Party in the back of the business. Best of both worlds like Mars and Venus.
The ultimate hybrid.
Nothing short of genius.
Keeping it loose while keeping it tight. We can make you sleep or play all night. Put two together, get a whole lot more. Get the feel of a comfort core.
You can bounce on it.
No stopping when the beat gets played back. Springs keep it popping, foam keeps it laid back. Party over here, get invited. Everybody get hybrid.
Listen, doesn't matter if your kitchen is charming when your bedroom's the most important part of the apartment. What kind of bed do you keep back there? Does your girl want to chill on a beanbag chair? Hell no.
You need springs and foam, cause if that bowling ball don't bounce, you'll be sleeping alone.
And if the bed don't react, then you can't get low. We got that type of bounce that won't spill your Merlot.
So stick with us and you'll get rewarded.
Cause I'm so gentle
and I'm so supportive.
Hybrid is where the magic is.
And we just killed a song about mattresses.